One thing a lot of people may not realize is that before network time services became the norm, you had to set the clock on your computer manually, right? Which seems obvious. And most computers had a clock battery, and you could go into the BIOS or the time and date settings, set the time and date, and more or less forget about it. Though these would inevitably drift or the battery dies. And so if you needed a precise time source, things got a little bit more complicated. One thing that existed were dial-in time services. So these are very similar to our current network time services, the primary difference being instead of just getting the time through a network time protocol over an always-on internet connection, you had to explicitly dial in and go and get it. And there are a couple of these still in operation today. One of them being the NIST's Automated Computer Time Service. And they have a pretty detailed web page on it on how to use it, how it works, what sort of data it returns. And you can call straight in, launch Hyperterminal, dial up your modem, and get these time strings. But that's not really super useful. You can't really set a clock with it. But one thing that they do offer, up here at the top, they have this FTP site. And this has some source code if you wanted to build your own piece of software to connect to this and set the computer clock. And then they also have a couple of compiled applications. So I have one here. It's just called WinAx. And what we need to do is point it to our modem. It's on COM1. I know that 4800 baud works well for me. They say anything between 1200 and 9600, but I found 4800 works the most reliably. And all we have to do is say dial it now. And then what it'll do, fire up the modem. And I don't have a POTS telephone line. It's going through my SPA 122, which is connected to VoIP.ms. Alright, so that's going. And let's reposition this to look at the screen. And shortly here, so we'll see it's connected, and then we'll get some time pulses. And I've purposefully set the clock on this machine a couple minutes slow. So the software gets a few of those time pulses, and then it's able to calculate what the actual time is based on those pulses. So we can see my clock was 2 minutes and about 3 seconds slow. Do I want to adjust? I say yes. And then boom, we're all done. Adjustment has been performed.